E3 is right around the corner. With a month to go, there are still a lot of questions in the air. We know now that Nintendo will be doing a digital event, a spotlight. We now know that the Splatoon tournament will happen on the 11th and the 12th, and that Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Switch will, well, that's the name right now. Well, let's give it that. Smash 5, let's put it that way. The Smash 5 Invitational will happen right after the Splatoon tournament. So, well, after the tournament, the Nintendo Spotlight event happens. Now, these are just 10 questions that I think are kind of important for Nintendo's E3, both before and during and after E3. Some of these obviously can be answered before E3, some of these can be answered fully after E3, and some of these will probably be answered during E3. So my name is The Legend of DS, and let's get on to the 10 big questions leading into Nintendo's E3. Actually, before we get on to it, I should mention that these are in no particular order. So the first one is not number 10 and the least important, and the last one is not number 1, the most important one. So anyway, outside of that, let's get on to the top 10, to the not top 10, to the 10 burning or 10 big questions for Nintendo's E3. Last time we heard from Retro Studios was in 2014 when they released Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Now officially heard from them. Obviously rumors started that they finished or started the next project in as late as August 2014, and recent departures from the studio and LinkedIn profiles linked to the studio have indicated that their latest project is either close to being terminated or already terminated, and recent hirings or job postings from them seem like they will be working, or they are already working, on their next title. Same thing can be said for Next Level Games. While Next Level Games hasn't had as much of a drought compared to Retro Studios. Retro Studios, literally, we haven't seen anything from them for the past 4 years. Next Level Games actually has been having a pretty consistent record and releasing scheduled. In 2013, I believe it was 2013, they released Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, and then in 2016 they finished the project that had begun in 2009, Metroid Prime Federation Force. Now both of these had different responses. Luigi's Mansion sold incredibly well and it was very successful. I believe it sold over 5 million, but Federation Force was not as well received, and he got a lot of criticism for it, mostly because it was a Metroid Prime game that wasn't, or a Metroid game that wasn't the mainline game. And I'll continue to defend the game, saying that the game probably isn't as bad as people make it out to be. It just suffered from the releasing of both announcement and releases. Now with both of these studios, honestly, what I would like to see from both of them would be Retro working on a new game or new IP, the same thing with Next Level. But if they are not working on new IPs and they're working on either existing IPs, I hope that Retro is not working on Donkey Kong or Metroid. We know they're not working on Metroid, and I would like them to work on something outside of DK. Again, a new IP would be perfect. I would really enjoy to see what they could do with a Star Tropics game or an open world F-Zero game. And I say open world, but in the style of, say, the Arkham games. But instead of being Batman, you're Captain Falcon in Mute City running around. That would be actually pretty cool. On the side of Next Level Games, I kind of want to see what they're working. They could be working on Luigi's Mansion 3. We already know they're not working on Luigi's Mansion 3D for the 3DS. I would say Luigi's Mansion 3D because I don't remember if it's just Luigi's Mansion, the name of it, if they didn't give it the 3D name while putting it over for the 3DS. We know that's work being done by Grezzo, the people that worked on Ever Oasis and the 3DS ports, and helped with the Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes for the 3DS as well. If they're not working on Luigi's Mansion 3, they could be working on Mario Strikers or even Punch-Out. If they are working in any of these, I would like to see Punch-Out make a comeback because, you know, it's not as utilized as an IP as Mario Strikers. Well, Mario Strikers would be fun, especially in a year of the World Cup, and me being Portuguese and the fact that we are the current defenders of the European title kind of makes me much more interested in Strikers. I would like Punch-Out more, again, because I would like to see a representation for Portugal. Please do it we don't have representation outside of sports games. Although Punch-Out would technically speaking be a sports game, I would just like to see something in that universe that would be fun, you know? To me, I would like to see that mostly because of two things. Either one, hopefully they don't return Little Mac. You already told that story. I believe every game has been Little Mac the main protagonist. And while that's fun and all, it's 4 games with the same character. And with the same characters fighting mostly, I would prefer something new, although I will not practically say that about The Legend of Zelda or Mario. But you know, you can keep Little Mac, but I would really like to see then again, there's no reason to change it from Little Mac if you're not gonna do anything special with it. So unless they make a female character, which would be interesting, or a much bigger and much more interesting thing to me would be Doc Lewis as the main character. You know, playing in the past when he was a fighter. That would be really, really, really cool. But hey, we don't know. But in regards to E3 with both of these studios, I will not be surprised if neither are there, especially if their titles are late 2018 or 2019 or mid to late 2019. But if they're late 2018 or early 2019, they definitely have a chance to being there. Nintendo recently said that they want to see the 3DS being supported well beyond 2019, while the 3DS is still selling and is still making the money, so it makes perfect sense that they want to keep it alive. Who would want to kill a system that's still selling? I mean, the PlayStation 2 was sold for how long? Like 12, 13 years? That's insane. So of course Nintendo is gonna do it, but obviously this question is not about only the 3DS, it's about multiple things. Dual releases with the 3DS, which I could see. Luigi's Mansion, I would not be surprised if they announced at E3 that, hey, it's dual release, like they did with Sushi Striker and Captain Toad. I also wouldn't be surprised if they did it with what is it? Is not Parker's in Time, is Bowser's Inside Story remake also being dual releases. And also the ports of other Wii U games. Personally, I'm a fan of the Wonderful 101 and Tokyo Mirage Sessions being ported over to the Nintendo Switch. By the way, just saying, tomorrow, I believe it's going to be tomorrow, it depends, there will be a top 10 list of remakes or ports I want to see on the on the Switch, and maybe Tokyo Mirage Sessions and Wonderful 101 will be there, I don't know. But obviously also remakes from older games, maybe like bring over 3DS titles to get an HD makeover, maybe Wii games getting the HD makeover. Heck, we already had the Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. Maybe we could see other GameCube games get the HD treatment. But I think that would be very interesting to see. Could we see at E3? Sure, if there is a gap they need to fill, or they want more games to pad out releases, or even early next year, it'll be fun to see. If not, I definitely see this being a trend over the coming months and years, and it doesn't really need to be answered at E3, but definitely could be there. E3 will be on June 12th, 2018. Well, and I'm not going to say the day because I don't remember. I know it was like around the 15th, the 16th of June, 2015, so almost 3 years to the date. Miyamoto, Mr. Shigeru Miyamoto, I should say, said to, what was it? Was it IGN, I believe? He said, Pikmin 4 is close to completion. Well, it's been 3 years, and we haven't even seen a screenshot. Mr. Miyamoto, I'm sorry. You cannot tell me that the game is near completion and then turn around for 3 bloody years and not give me a screenshot. Now, sure, this might have been a game that started off as a Wii U game and was ported over to the Switch, and then the development took its own and they began adding more and more stuff. It happens, it's a possibility. I don't have a problem with that. And I do believe it was 2017 or 2016, I believe it was 2017 that 2016 I believe he confirmed that development was still going and that Hey Pikmin was not Pikmin 4, and then 2017 he confirmed, 2017 he confirmed or said that the team, not the team, the PR team, yeah, the PR team did not allow him to speak about Prime. Why would I say Prime? Pikmin 4, well, technically speaking, both end with the letter 4. Wow. Now that I think about it, both franchises, or both series, started off on the GameCube, and the Switch is getting their 4th game. That's trippy. Although one skipped the Wii and the other one skipped the Wii U, that's actually pretty funny. Where was I? Oh yeah, the PR team told him not... Was it the PR team or the marketing team? I believe it was the marketing team, which technically speaking is the PR team. No matter what, no matter. Told him not to speak of the game as of yet. So, will Pikmin 4 be at E3? I mean, as of right now, we know everything or most Nintendo games coming up until July, so that leaves August, September, October, November and December. 5 months to have a game releasing. We know that September most likely will be Smash Bros. We also have Fire Emblem and Yoshi coming out, so you already have 2 more. Then you add in the possibility of Pokemon, that's 4. 1 month out, that could be for third parties like they did last year. Pikmin might not be this year, but it might be next year. But I think even if it's not launching this year, we should be able to see just a little sneak peek at the game, because come on, it's been 3 years, dudes. Show us at least a screenshot. Just give us not even a screenshot, a logo would be nice, you know? That's the thing, last year we got Metroid Prime 4 announcement, we got a teaser with just a title. Pikmin 4 we have known for 3 years, longer, by the way, than Yoshi and all the 2018 games and all the 2017 games apart from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and we haven't even seen a screenshot. And people are worried about Yoshi not being a 2018 game. I'm worried that Pikmin 4 doesn't even exist. This, I believe, is the safest bets when it comes to a third-party collaboration between Nintendo and somebody else. We have been seeing a lot of things hinting that this might happen. We know that the director of the game wants it. He even retweeted what was it? I forget the name of the mission statement or whatever. I forget the project. Like the Project Rainfall and the Project Moon plus Project Platinum, of getting like companies or directors to respond to people. He actually retweeted for the project of Xenosaga getting an HD remake. We have Cosmos and Telos or Elos, I believe, I don't know how to say her name, in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as rare blades. We recently had the trademarks being re-upped by this. I honestly wouldn't be shocked if this was in fact coming to Nintendo Switch, the trilogy in HD on the Nintendo Switch. Although, if Nintendo wanted to, they could probably buy the IP and have Retro, or not Retro, Monolith, have both of almost all of their franchises. I don't know, I'm not saying it would happen, I would say it would be smart for Nintendo. Not only that, we could have more characters for Smash Brothers. Just saying. They don't need to be in Smash. Although, I wouldn't be shocked if this trilogy was a thing, if we didn't see Cosmos in Super Smash Brothers, you know? It's a possibility, even if it was DLC, although there are some characters I would prefer having on disc, or in this case a cartridge, because I would prefer them to be already there, because there are some characters, I'm not saying I wouldn't buy it because I'm a sucker, I would. There are people out there that wouldn't, and that's a shame. But you know, that's just me. But this will probably answer. If it's not at E3, I wouldn't be shocked if it was announced by the end of the year. It seems like a clean bet that Xenosaga HD, it is coming. Maybe not just on Switch, on everything else. But I wouldn't be shocked if it wasn't on Switch as well. E3 2018 will be 364 days after E3 2017. Why am I saying this is important? Well, it actually isn't. Actually, it is. Actually, it isn't. Actually, it is. Because, you see, last year Nintendo announced Pokémon would be coming to the Nintendo Switch. Now, the reason why this isn't the fact that E3 2018 it comes a day from being a full-blown year since the announcement of Pokemon Switch is important. It's not relevant for any other game outside of Pokemon Switch's announcement. Because in that announcement, the president, I believe, of the Pokemon company said the following. Game Freak are working on a core RPG Pokemon game for Nintendo Switch. It might not release for a year or more, but I hope you are excited for it. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not saying it word for word or verbatim, but that's what he said. In a year or more. Now, every other game that they said 2018, that was Kirby and Yoshi, and the games they didn't give a release date, like Pokemon and Metroid. The fact that this E3 comes out almost a full year afterwards doesn't matter, except for Pokemon. Because Pokemon is the only one that has people debating that it won't come in 2018 because of the wording. Now, in Metroid Prime's case, I think right now I'm starting more and more to believe it is early 2019 or late 2019, mostly because looking at 2018, there isn't a month where I would fit it without either it or something else losing some of the hype and becoming a little bit relegated to the side. You know, I wouldn't put Metroid alongside F-Zero, Fire Emblem, because Fire Emblem is growing, is a much, it's an IP that's still on growing. Fire Emblem Heroes did $300 million for Nintendo, and in Japan it would absolutely slaughter Metroid Prime 4. And I wouldn't put it next to so obviously Japan, attention goes to Fire Emblem. The West, kind of divided between the two, and we don't want that. And then we have, and obviously would overshadow a little bit of, in the West, Metroid Prime would overshadow a little bit Metroid Prime because the hype of Metroid Prime returning. And then we have poor little Yoshi that I'm a Yoshi fan. I liked Woolly World. I love Woolly World, actually. I am a big fan of 2D platformers. I'm a big fan of platformers in general. But that game did not appeal to me. It didn't interest me. You know, so Metroid Prime would absolutely murder it. But that's beside the point. Pokemon was the, obviously, again, Metroid Prime mostly came down to people arguing over 2018 and 2019, mostly because when they believed the development began, and what we saw at E3, it was the JPEG and the logo Metroid Prime 4, now in development. That's all we got. With Pokemon, we got the it's coming in a year or more. Now, ever since then, Nintendo has always slated the game as 2018 or later. The reason why I say, and I bring up the fact that it's been almost a year, is because of the debate. The debate has always been, it's going to be 2019, the people that believe 2019, because the Pokemon company said, in a year or more. So people's brains didn't make the connection that I'm trying to make here of a year. It goes from E3 to E3, that's a full year. So technically speaking, in a year or more, Pokemon could technically speaking release on June 14th, 2018 and be more than a year after E3 2014, or 14, Jesus, obviously it was more than a year, 2017, and it been over a year. It was over a year, so we got the game. Most people that defend the 2019 theory say he said a year or more, so 17 plus 1 equals 18. So if he said a year or more, that means it's most likely 2019, because they would have never said or more if it was 2018. Despite the fact that that's how it works. A year, they didn't go from June to June. Now, obviously, E3, or the time before E3, is going to respond this question. Will Pokemon be a 2018 game or 2019 game? Right now, from what I understand, the anime, the merchandising for toys and plushies, and there's not a lot of merch coming to Pokemon after the Pokemon movie, the 21st movie, which, by the way, Generation 6 is done. There's no other Pokemon for them to reveal. There's no other Pokemon for them to give out outside of Zerora, or Zerua, I forget how to say its name. And with the movie comes out in June, July. So Generation 6 will be done in June. Merchandising will not have anything new as of right now. It looks like there's nothing planned for afterwards, and there's nothing really they can use until next year for either the new Pokemon game or the new movie. A full year, that doesn't seem like something they will do or wait to do. Obviously that's the things they're pointing out for 2018. Obviously also the fact that anime, apparently from what I hear, is running on fumes, practically always being in filler mode. So before and during E3 we will have the question, if Pokemon doesn't show up until E3 or a little bit after E3, until the end, no, E3 it will be the deadline, there's no reason to announce it afterwards, then Pokemon will not be 2018. It will most definitely be a 2019 title. And speaking of which, if Pokemon is not a 2018 title and is a 2019 title, then what's the game that's going to accompany Smash Brothers at the end of the year as the big holiday seller? This one was kind of obvious. If Pokemon does not make it into 2018, then Animal Crossing is going to be the other game that is going to be slotted in to be the 2018 game alongside Super Smash Bros. Now you might say, do they really need two big system sellers at the end of the year? Given their lofty shipments for this financial year, and the fact that 2017 also had two major system sellers, obviously not coming this close to each other, but with the online service also launching, it wouldn't surprise me if they were both either Pokemon or Animal Crossing being launched in November this year, alongside Smash Brothers coming in September. If I was a betting boy, I would still say Pokemon has the more likelihood. I know the website for Animal Crossing has just recently been updated, but there's a lot of stuff going on for Pokemon to make to appear that Pokemon will be a 2018 title, but if it isn't, Animal Crossing is the most likely choice to accompany to replace it. Now, I do believe that right now the launches of both games are in a way interchangeable, so or linked together, I should say, because if Pokemon is 2018 and Pokemon is November, and Animal Crossing I believe will be March, but if Animal Crossing is November, then Pokemon will be March. This is something that it wouldn't shock me. This is something that I'm actually expecting to happen. Mostly because of the lofty shipment goals, and it just makes sense. Two of the biggest heavy hitters, actually, it will be three heavy hitters coming from that 9-month period between September, 9 months, no, 6 months, 7 months. Why did I say 9 months? Jesus, what? My math was way off on that one. Coming in between September with Smash and March with Animal Crossing, if Animal Crossing is March, which I believe it will be, but that's beside the point. So again, if Pokemon is not revealed until 3, will Animal Crossing be there? Probably. If Pokemon is there, then Animal Crossing... Could Animal Crossing also be there? Probably, it could also be there. It would be a nice way to hype people up for also 2019, now that I think about it. Huh, I didn't think about that one, did I? I mean, if Pokemon is not there, then Animal Crossing absolutely is. If Pokemon is there, Animal Crossing still has a chance. Although they could save it for a later time to create a lot of hype with it too. We heard from former president of Nintendo, Tatsumi Kimishima, that 2018, the pieces are already in play. And we heard from the president, I believe it was the president, and CEO, or it was either the president and CEO, or CEO, or just president, it doesn't matter, of GameSpot, or is it GameSpot? GameSpot. The store. It's confusing. I forget if GameSpot is the store and GameSpot, doesn't matter, said that 2018 would be, or the second half, would be pretty impressive, not just from the first party side, but also the third party side. And there was some guy on Twitter that also said that. I no idea who he was, I forget. I think it was a French dude, I don't know. But what third parties can we expect from this E3? Well, here's the thing. With the success of Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle, I will not be shocked if we see more from Ubisoft at E3. I would not be surprised if Ubisoft got the rights to another Nintendo game. Obviously probably not being announced so soon? Actually, it could. If Nintendo saw that the game was gonna be good in 2016, they probably could have given them the go-ahead to work on another project. I mean, they did allow them to work with Mario, so after you have the permission to work with Mario. I wouldn't be shocked if Nintendo gave more. Bethesda, still on Ubisoft. I would not be shocked if Assassin's Creed was there. On Bethesda, whatever they have announced, I wouldn't be shocked, or have to announce, I wouldn't be shocked if the Switch also got it. And a Fallout 4 port for the Nintendo Switch, I think would be pretty sweet. EA, I think the sports games are all coming over. I heard that FIFA might be doing well. We know that in France it did well, so I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if Bandai brought over Dragon Ball. We saw the Tales of game that they talked about a couple of years ago. Whatever Sonic racing game will be coming out from Sega, probably whatever Atlas is working on. I don't know if Shin Megami Tensei will probably be the only one that they're working on. And on Nintendo's press conference, I will not be shocked if we saw Fortnite, GTA 5, and Overwatch all being announced for the Nintendo Switch. All of these seem like pretty strong bets. Spyro Reignited, the Reignited trilogy, I also think will be announced either at E3 or before E3. I think that if it's announced at E3, it will be because Spyro and or Crash are coming to Smash, and it's the lead way, because if the game has been announced for every other platform, it's been leaked by Nintendo that it's coming to the Switch, it's a little weird that it would be saved up for E3 just for Nintendo. But hey, that's just me. Maybe we'll also see from Capcom a Monster Hunter World port, which would be pretty sweet at this point, to help that game reach the 10 million mark. But what else? And also it would be smart for Nintendo to utilize these third-party games like GTA, Overwatch, Fortnite. Not really Fortnite, because Fortnite you can play it for free on PlayStation without PlayStation Plus, so it wouldn't be. But on their online service. And also, maybe just with Fortnite, promote crossplay like they have been doing with everything else, which Sony for some reason doesn't want to do it. And you can say, oh, it's because they're winning. Yeah, but the Switch is kicking a lot of ass right now, and it's still doing it too. So I don't know. It will be a little interesting to see, not a little, very interesting to see what announcements come before, during, and after E3, especially in the Treehouse if they announce something else. And with all these announcements or speculation of announcements, what characters from Smash are we going to see from third parties? I think personally that Crash Bandicoot is almost a guaranteed. I wouldn't be shocked if Spyro made it either, and even a Rabbit or even an Assassin. I don't know, we have to wait and see, I guess. Also, another one probably that will be coming to Switch will be Call of Duty. The Wii got Call of Duties, the DS got Call of Duties, the PSP and the PS Vita got Call of Duties. The Switch will also most likely get a Call of Duty, even if it's just a gimped port, which is something that I'm already expecting to happen. And a little post-edit, some company I completely forgot when I did my original recording was Square Enix. They also have announced that they will be having a press event, so I wouldn't be shocked if they announce games for the Switch there. We already have Project Octopath Traveler coming. We know Dragon Quest XI supposedly is making his way over. Dragon Quest Builders 2 is also out or on the way for Nintendo Switch. So I'd be shocked if we saw more from them. It's pretty clear that they're going to announce Kingdom Hearts 3 release date this year. I wouldn't be shocked if the game was also going to be released for Nintendo Switch, although I doubt it at this point. But hey, Final Fantasy 15 port would not shock me. They already were working that they were talking with they talked about that they were working with Epic to bring the game over to Unreal Engine and to the Nintendo Switch. The Switch has been out for over a year, and in that time period, both a lot of games came out, and a lot of games have received DLC or free updates. Zelda Breath of the Wild got 2 major DLC expansions. Pokémon Tournament DX has gotten a DLC pack, a battle pack with two-parter DLC pack. Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle is also receiving its DLC. So and Mario Odyssey has been getting a crap ton of updates. And Splatoon 2 got a lot of free updates. He's still getting free updates, but he's also getting its first paid DLC expansion. Now, at this point in time, Mario Odyssey has yet to be given any paid content. As of right now, Mario Odyssey has yet to receive any paid DLC, which feels a little bit weird, I'm going to be honest, because it's a game that it's ripe for it. People will absolutely want to pay for more levels. The game's already full to the brim with content, then I don't think people would be too upset for paying a $20 expansion for, let's say, having... I don't think playable characters should be added in. Mario doesn't go and invade those characters series, so having a Luigi playable character or a Wario playable character when Mario is not playable in Luigi's Mansion and in the WarioWare and the Wario Land games makes no sense to me. To bring, I think it's a little bit unfair, let's put it that way, that we ask and people demand for these things, and then when the other thing is, when we ask for the reverse, it's like, no, Mario has its own games. It's just funny to me. But anyway, having new kingdoms, bringing in like Luigi's Mansion, Isle Delfino, maybe the Comet Observatory, that was the name of it. Just name a few of possible levels, maybe some new kingdoms, some areas in the kingdoms that we haven't explored. Metro, Donkey Kong, not Donkey Kong, New Donk City is just a city inside of the Metro Kingdom. Same thing with Tosarena, is just one area in the Sand Kingdom. So maybe we can have more areas. Look at the moon. The moon is its own kingdom and it has 3 different parts. It has the moon, the dark side, and the darker side. So why not could we see more of this? Not only that, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has been out for over a year now and it's yet to get DLC. Now I understand they are trying to keep it as close to the original as possible, even though they added the battle mode, but it's been a year, the game has sold more than the original one. Maybe we can have some new cups added, maybe some new characters, some new battle modes, some new battle stages outside of obviously cups. It will be fun. Not only that, I'm also expecting that sooner or later Hyrule Warriors will be getting DLC expansions, and maybe not now, obviously I hope they don't talk about it now, but maybe in the future we'll see the Smash Ballad make a return. Also, another thing, maybe we'll see, we already know that Xenosaga Chronicles 2 is getting paid DLC, maybe we'll see a little bit of it. Maybe Fire Emblem later on will also get paid DLC, maybe ARMS will get its own story DLC update or paid content, although that one should also be paid, now that I think about it. If I was so fine, if I was so fine with the DLC for Splatoon 2, more with the expansion, the levels being paid more than the character itself. Anyway, let's move on to the next question, shall we? Earlier this year, the now former president of Nintendo, Tatsumi Kimishima, did speak about Nintendo utilizing less known IPs, and recently, more recently I should say, the creator of Wave Race teased that the games might be coming back. Now, with this emphasis on bringing less known IPs, could we see one of them be announced at this year's E3? Metroid Prime was a game that nobody expected. One of the less utilized IPs from Nintendo was announced last year. Maybe that's what Retro Studios and Next Level Games are working on older Nintendo franchises that, you know, people are not expecting to see, that haven't been around for a while, just show up and be talked about. If I had to guess which ones would make a comeback, I would say probably Star Tropics and Eternal Darkness, maybe Punch-Out. Eternal Darkness and Star Tropics would not be shocked if those were one of the games that Retro was working on, with Punch-Out or Mario Strikers being the other ones used or being developed by Next Level Games. Maybe Golden Sun could make an appearance, that would be a twist. Maybe even Advanced Wars. You know that the studio intelligence system has been busy working on Fire Emblem, but I will not be surprised if they were working on both, especially if both use the same engine. You know, it would be fun to see. Will they show any of them? I hope we see at the very least one. Even if it's not releasing for another year, it would be a way to make good on the promise of more or less utilized IPs. Even if they're not new games, maybe we could just see the remakes and the re-releases of maybe F-Zero GX, maybe the Golden Sun trilogy, quadrilogy, I think it's a trilogy, maybe I'm wrong, all released in HD for the Nintendo Switch. Although although this is not a question that will only be answered by E3, E3 will very much pave the way in showing not only us, the gamers, but investors, if the Nintendo Switch can in fact do that crazy amount of units shipped by the end of April 2019. From April 1st to March 31st, Nintendo has the goal of shipping 20 million units. Now, that's more than any year of the PlayStation 4 and any more than any year of the Nintendo 3DS, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken. That is also, if the rumors and the leaked data, not leaked data, the estimations from EA are correct, that's about that's almost as much as the Xbox One has sold in its life cycle. Okay, if we do the math according to EA's estimations, the Xbox One will be at 30 million this year, or by the end of last year, which is sounds a little bit low, but if we take into account maybe the VG Charts numbers, if we take VG Charts numbers as correct, then it's still 20 million to 35 million, 20 million shipped for Switch in this financial year, and then overall 30 million for the Xbox One. There will also be in 1 year more than the Wii U shipped overall, almost as much as the GameCube sold lifetime, about half of what the SNES sold lifetime, and the same thing for the N64, a little bit under what the N64 overall shipped, which would be incredible numbers. But again, E3 will be the thing that will pave the way and show us, can they do it? What are the set pieces? Because here's the thing, they'll still have a lot of directs to showcase things. I would not be shocked if we're gonna get more directs in the upcoming months, mostly because of Smash Brothers. If we're not gonna be seeing anything from Smash up until E3, and then we see the presentation, the Treehouse, and the tournament, I think the tournament will be the last time they're going to announce anything for the game during E3, and I would not be surprised if throughout the month of June we got nothing else, and then in July we got more. And if the Switch is in fact the Smash Brothers is in fact launching in September, then we're gonna have 2 months for them to announce a lot of stuff. And it's Smash Brothers is a fighting game, and Sakurai doesn't like to people be spoiled, so he probably will just announce things. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I prefer to get announcement trailers for characters than getting leaks or people spoiling the roster after the game comes out, or before people even have that, or before even the game comes out, because sometimes people are jackasses, get the game early and spoil everything. But it's here. E3 will be, no matter what, no matter how many directs they have afterwards, it's the one thing, it's the thing that's going to showcase us from most likely the game's beginning to launch in August up until April, or March I should say, will be the set that will force or move the Switch, the force behind the Switch, probably doing or possibly doing 20 million shipped in its first year. Sorry, not its first year, it's this financial year. This is technically speaking the Switch's second year. Jesus, what was wrong with me? So there it is, the 10 big questions I have personally for Nintendo for this year's E3. So tell me in the comment section, what are your either answers for these questions and your own personal questions for E3 of what could happen, couldn't happen, what might happen. And stay tuned for tomorrow, where I hope I can get it done. 2 more videos. One will be about the ports and the games I want to see in the Nintendo Switch, and hopefully later on today, and not the other one tomorrow, will be another videos for the Smash Bros. Speculation. Stay tuned especially for the ending of the the games that I want to see being brought over, ported over, remastered, remade for the Nintendo Switch. Because that in the end of that video I will be talking about the possibility of something or what I might do for the 100 subscriber special, because we're so close to 100 subscribers, and that's something that I really would like to do. It would be obviously in that video, so on screen right now it will probably be the links to the Smash Brothers speculation videos that I've been doing more recently, the link also to my Xenoblade Chronicles 2 playlist if you enjoy or if you like Xenoblade Chronicles, and you might feel like seeing it, there it is right there. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, do whatever. Thank you guys for watching. I've been the Legend of the S. I'll see you guys next time.